You're listening to Morning Edition on this Wednesday here on WCBU. I'm Rich Drager. The two frontrunners for governor stopped in central Illinois this week to answer questions from farmers. Correspondent Braden Fogerson reports from an agricultural forum in McLean County.
Republican challenger Darren Bailey is a third-generation farmer who lost to incumbent Democrat J.B. Pritzker 4 years ago. Bailey says energy costs are continuing to climb for farmers and everyone else in Illinois.
I'm talking to senior citizens every day who are scared to death to open their energy bills because they can't afford any more increases.
Farmers at the event wanted to know how Bailey would make Illinois less reliant on importing energy from outside Illinois. A Congressional Joint Economic Committee report shows Illinois farmers spent $1.4 billion more on diesel this planting season than a year prior. Bailey says a solution to problems like this would be to expand energy production. Governor Pritzker this year signed into law an end to the 1987 nuclear moratorium, opening the door for new large-scale nuclear reactors. Bailey says the state should also expand exploration of coal and natural gas. While Pritzker maintains Illinois is still a net exporter of energy, he says a reason for rising costs is the energy grid. The Chicagoland area is on an energy grid with mostly mid-Atlantic states. The rest of the state is on a grid with other Midwestern states. Pritzker says it's this setup that makes Illinoisans feel the effect of added data centers even when they aren't built in Illinois.
It means that when they, for example, are using a lot of electricity in Kansas, you're paying for it. And it shouldn't be that way.
Both candidates say they support ending tax breaks for new data centers and support requiring them to bring their own water and energy. Both candidates also answered how they would manage the sticker shock farmers will soon get when they have to buy their next round of fertilizer. Before the war in Iran, around a third of the world's fertilizer transported by sea passed through the Strait of Hormuz. Pritzker says its closure, tariffs, and trade wars are all to blame for rising costs there. But his opponent says it's a necessary evil.
I called it the same from day one as I do now, a short-term pain for a long-term gain, and I believe it's the only tool that we have to get competitive again.
Bailey says he would have more productive dialogue with the president to help lower costs in the state. While Pritzker says there's not much he can do to change federal strategies, he would like to encourage small businesses to start making fertilizer. 4/5 of the nation's fertilizer come from the same four companies. Pritzker says the state could either provide money or loans to startups or encourage private investors to help start companies.
That's what's going to create competition, because in the end, when prices get too high, someone figures out how to enter the market. If you can enter the market at a lower price, everybody's going to come to you.
Another concern for farmers is the estate tax. Both candidates say raising the threshold at which the estate tax hits, which currently sits at $4 million in Illinois, should be raised to make it easier to pass a farm down from one generation to the next. Pritzker still supports the Family Farm Preservation Act, which raises it to $6 million, only taxes after that first $6 million, and ties that threshold to inflation. The bill failed in the state legislature multiple times due to budget constraints.
The average age, obviously, of people who are farming today has gone up, and we want new generations to enter the farming business. The problem, of course, is we haven't been training them well over the last bunch of years. We want more people to enter, and we want it to be easier to do.
Because of the latter problem, Pritzker says he will also support ag programs at universities and drop membership fees for the high school program known as Future Farmers of America, or FFA. But Bailey says a $6 million threshold on the estate tax won't do enough. The federal government does not charge until $15 million for single tax filers. He says the state should at least match what the IRS does, if not drop the tax altogether.
So that we can preserve our future that's disappearing every week in the farm sales as we see it.
Bailey also wants to cut state property taxes and the gas tax, making up for lost revenues there with cuts in other programming he says is wasteful. That includes funding for immigrant assistance like health care, housing, emergency food, and rental assistance. I'm Braden Fogerson.
You're listening to Morning Edition here on WCBU, Peoria Public Radio, part of the NPR network.